Recently, we got 3 new items added into Black Ops 6 Zombies, those of course being Vulture Aid, Tesla Storm, and Lightman. And of course, I spent my time testing these out, unlocking all the different augments, and then of course testing out with all the different augments, and I think I have a pretty good idea of the best augments to use for all of these different items. Now keep in mind, we don't keep things simple here, we go into depth with this. This is why the video is as long as it is, because based on what you're doing in your game, if it's Easter eggs, high rounds, or just generally what you're doing, even if it's going for headshots, different augments are going to be better for different situations, and I'm going to explain that. And with that said, I don't think we should waste any more time. Drop a like and subscribe, and let's get into this. So let's first start off with Vulture Aid. Now first, before we get into the augments, what does it do? Well, it increases a variety of loot drops from enemies, and this means that you're going to be getting more lethals, tacticals, armor plates, and salvage when you kill those zombies. It's going to give you all of those, which is absolutely amazing. Now something it doesn't say is that it actually adds 2 more drops, and this is ammo drops from kills potentially, and also point drops, which also could help you too. And it's an amazing perk by default, but obviously it has some augments. Now let's start off with the major augments, even though the minor augments are actually better, which is crazy to say. But first off, we have Fetid Upgrade. On death, zombies have a chance to create a gas cloud that charges your field upgrade. Now normally this is pretty useless in most situations, but it actually has one very good specific use, and the time I recommend doing this is especially on the Citadel Day More boss fight, but also maybe on the Terminus boss fight, to use this to charge your field upgrades during the in-between phases, because as you guys probably know by now, Ether Shroud is absolutely broken in these boss fights, and if you can have more charges of it more often, especially doing it during those in-between phases, this is going to help you do it a lot faster and more guaranteed that it's charged before the next phase starts. So definitely use that for this. That's what it's great for, but besides that, it's pretty useless. After that, we have Smell of Death. On death, zombies have a chance to create a gas cloud that conceals you while standing in it. This is that OG ability of Vulture Aid. It's just zombies ignore you while you're in the gas cloud. I don't ever find it too useful, to be completely honest, but if you don't really want to use the other two, this could be done there, because the other two are for very specific situations. And speaking of the other one, Parting Gifts. Vulture Aid ammo drops more ammo for 2 wonder weapons. So as I mentioned earlier, when you get kills with Vulture Aid, they have a chance to drop some ammo, and right now it actually just doesn't give you that much ammo for wonder weapons. It like gives you like 1 or 2 or 3, and this actually increases that by a decent amount. So if you are going to be using a wonder weapon that has bullets, then this could be good for that. But keep in mind, I said wonder weapon that has bullets, because all of the swords on Citadel Day More and also the jet gun on Liberty Falls don't really use bullets, so it's pretty useless for those two. But if you're going to be using the ray gun or maybe even the beam smasher on Terminus, you could potentially use this. But as I said, all of these are very specific situations that they're useful in or not that useful, so you know, that's just what it is with these major augments. But for the minor ones, we're going to get in some good ones, because first off, we have Condor's Reach. Auto pick up loot from farther away, and oh my gosh, this is actually so good, because how many of us have actually seen like the loot pop up on our screen for a salvage, armor plate, whatever, you ran past it but didn't actually pick it up because it was out of your range, even though it pops up on your screen to pick it up? Well, no longer with that. You actually pick this up from a pretty good distance, honestly, and this is by far the most convenient one, the one I've been running, especially when I'm using the swords, because I just get all the loot I ever want when using those. I never have to worry about running over the zombies killed them where their loot was supposed to fall, because this automatically picks that all up because its range just increases so much. So it's super convenient and really nice for that. But then we have another great one. This is going to be Karn's Luggage. Critical kills have a chance to drop extra salvage, and oh my gosh, when this hits, it hits a lot, because I ran round 13 with and without this augment, and on the few times I did it, I had like 200 to 250 more salvage I got on that round specifically, and I could just imagine how useful this is going to be just to be able to get more salvage way earlier. Now the one drawback to this is that it does require critical kills, so if you're using a gun that's not going to use critical kills, like maybe a wonder weapon, many of them, or even streaks, it's actually not going to help. So I wouldn't even recommend this for high rounds because of that, but this is absolutely great if you're just like trying to get your gun gold as soon as possible. If you're working on headshots or challenges like that, this is the one to use. But then again, we have another great one with Picky Eater. On death, zombies have a higher chance of dropping your current equipment. So by default, when you use Vulture, you're going to get more equipment drops, but now most of those are going to be the equipment you already have. And that's already going to be nice because you probably have the equipment that you want equipped to you, but it's even better because when you start getting the Monkey Bomb, or more importantly, the Casimir Black Hole Grenade, this becomes absolutely broken. And I've actually used this on my high round runs, and they could drop so many Casimirs because of this augment that you could probably go full rounds using just the Casimirs that drop from these zombies kills, and it becomes absolutely insane. And this definitely is the one to use on high rounds. But then of course we have Light Mend, and what this does is bullets deal light damage. Each bullet has a chance to transform a normal or special enemy into a healing glyph that moves to nearby allies. And this is honestly a nice one. I like how it's different from all of the other augments. This is not really worried too much about damaging zombies extra compared to all the other ones doing like extra damage to zombies. This is more important on just healing you with potential healing glyph power-ups that fall on the ground, like only go to you when you're injured. Like, that's really nice. And also it does have that light damage that currently only deals extra damage to the Doppelgast, the special enemy on Citadel de Mor, which is nice. And it's a nice ammo mod, like, don't get me wrong, but I don't know about its augments, because looking through these, they're not that great. Starting off with the majors, we have Antibiotic. A healing glyph now damages enemies that touch it, but its lifetime is reduced. And I've tested this out, and like, even on round like 11, it just wasn't that great at killing zombies, and it's just like dealing a little extra zombies. And honestly, the healing glyph is probably not going to stay on the floor that long because you're going to get hit by zombies. So really, I find this one to be very useful, or useless, excuse me. So I wouldn't recommend using this, period. Then we have Big Game, and I thought this was going to be it, but what it says is Light Mends can activate on elite enemies, dropping 3 or more healing glyphs. And I thought that this was just going to insta-kill an elite enemy. This means your Amalgams or even your Abominations, but it doesn't seem like that's the case, unfortunately. And it actually doesn't insta-kill them, but on death, and sometimes while you're just shooting the elite enemies, they'll just drop 3 healing glyphs, which is nice and whatever, but I don't know, it's not as good as I thought. And then of course we have Dual Action. Consuming a healing glyph will temporarily allow you to heal faster. And this is the only major augment I recommend using, because the whole point of this is to heal you, right? And this helps you do that, and it continuously helps you for a bit after. Like, you get a healing glyph, and after that you're going to actually heal faster from hits after that happen. Like, it's going to help you not just on that initial heal, but a little bit after that. And especially if you combo this with Quick Revive, you're going to be healing up a lot faster. And because of that, I highly recommend everyone use Dual Action and nothing else for its major augments. And for the minor augments, you have let's start with the one you shouldn't use, and this is Express Remedy. Increase the range that the healing glyph moves to an ally. Like, it just means that if you go farther away from the healing glyph, it's just going to be able to get to you even if you're farther away. And I feel like that's not going to be that useful, because like, you're probably going to stay close to your healing glyph, especially if you're camping or even training. Like, this is only going to be slightly helpful if you're like killing a zombie then moving away from it, but like, I just don't think it's going to be helpful in most situations, because you're probably going to move too far away from it anyways if you're playing like that anyway. So I wouldn't recommend using this at all. But then we got the two that you could potentially use, and the first one is Longer Life. Healing Glyph's lifetime is increased. So when this healing glyph is actually on the floor just chilling there as a power-up, they actually disappear kind of fast, not like super fast, but this makes them last longer, so you could use it for longer periods of time, which is definitely nice, and you can use that if you want. But the one I recommend using is Extra Strength. The healing glyph replenishes more health when consumed, and it just goes back to that same reason why you're using Light Mend, is because to heal you more and faster, and that's going to be more helpful, because the healing glyph doesn't heal you for that much, but this will make it heal even more. And I think that's a really good thing, and that's why I recommend using Extra Strength with Dual Action, and I wouldn't really recommend anything else for Light Mend. Maybe I'm wrong about this one, but that's how I strongly feel about it right now. But now we have ourselves Tesla Storm, and oh my gosh, let's read what this thing does. For 10 seconds, lightning connects to other players, stunning and damaging normal enemies. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, just don't use Tesla Storm. And if you guys are like, watch the other two parts of this video, like, that's the important part. Like, Tesla Storm's just so bad right now, and it needs a buff bad because of that second part I just said. Because what it says is that it stuns and damages normal enemies. Now, this is actually incorrect, because it also does work against special enemies, so that's nice, but it actually doesn't work against elite enemies. And like, why? Like, why? Just shock the elite enemy too. Why? Just do that. It's so annoying, dude. I don't understand that at all. And also, I think the 10 seconds by default is just not long enough. I think Tesla Storm needs a huge buff, because in its current state, it is probably the worst field upgrade in the game right now. And I've tested with all its different augments, really trying to find something, but whatever. Regardless, we'll still go over these augments, and I'll tell you which ones I think are potentially useful, I guess. And the first one we have is Transformer. The field damage is increased by the number of allies connected. Cool, no one uses stuff on co-op anyways. Shockwave, on activation, stun and damage nearby enemies. I think this one's probably the one I would use, just because like when you activate, just everything's just going to get stunned around you. You know, you got to take what you can. And then of course we have static discharge. On activation, create a lethal surge of electricity around you, and this one deals a decent amount of damage to the zombies on early rounds, but I imagine in higher rounds this is completely useless. So if you're going to run anything, I'd put shockwave. For this minor augments, we have power grid, increase the range and electric tethering that connects to allies. Again, I don't think people are going to be using this on co-op, to be honest with you guys. And then we have overclock. Your movement speed is increased during Tesla Storm, and honestly this is a really good boost. Like, it's like a really fast boost, you run really fast, and I could appreciate that, but the problem is it only lasts 10 seconds, so it just doesn't feel worth it. And if like Tesla Storm lasted like 30 seconds, it'd be like really cool, but you know, that's not the case, unfortunately. And finally, we have lithium charge, increased Tesla Storm's duration. Now, I could be wrong here, but I think this like doubles its time, so it goes from 10 seconds to 20 seconds duration, which is nice. But again, Tesla Storm is just not that good in general, so yeah, I wouldn't recommend using it. But regardless, because of that, I'm going to just go with overclock, but you can use lithium charge if you want. But those are the augments for Tesla Storm, and that's it for the 3 new items and their augments. I'd love to hear what you guys think about everything I had to say about. Do you guys agree with all the things that I've said in this video, or did I miss something? Because with these augment videos, you're just bound to miss something, because there's just so many different possibilities with these. So let me know if I missed something down in the comment section below. Regardless though, thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.